Boom. All right, we're on. So what's up, guys? Let me make sure I'm in the frame well. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do a quick 30-minute training, about 15 minutes, and you guys can ask questions at the end. It's a free business training, so we're gonna dive into the 5 key consulting and growth components. Remember, consulting is a combination of agencies and coaches. That's business consulting. All right, so let's get into it, because if you saw one of my old videos somewhere on my page, or you can go into my videos, we discussed the difference in consulting businesses. But anyway, the 5 key growth components. So we're going to dive into the first one. Remember, if you ask your questions actually throughout here, I will answer them. Will, what's up, baby? What's going on, man? Hashtag live. Okay. And if you guys are watching this replay on YouTube, comment down below, hashtag live, help us expand the reach, or any questions you have, and subscribe to the channel because it's the best channel on the internet. Duh. So number one, when I get into this, and what I'm about to tell you for number one, I have to add a disclaimer that I am not an attorney, I am not any type of financial advisor, I am not any of that. Legally, I cannot advise you what to do with this sort of thing. So this is just what we do, but I'm not here to tell you one way or the other. I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant, not a CPA, any of that. So fundamentals, I have all this written down because it's just faster for the videos. I actually have a video coach. They are awesome, Abby Walla and David Storch. So they can help you create a more structured, anything on video, more structured. All right, so number one, legalities. So those are gonna be your fundamentals. Actually, let me just put legality fundamentals because it's probably easier to look at. All right, so these are pretty common questions. So we're gonna just dive into this right now. We're gonna talk into LLC or just legitimizing your business, whether that be a corporation or a DBA, whatever you decide to do. Like I said, I'm not here to advise you on what to make your business because there's so many different things you could do. So I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, LLC, you don't need it right away, okay? So when you're starting a business, there's a lot of things that are regular hiccups for anyone that wants to quit their job or they want to, maybe do something on the side, but they're afraid to because of all these things people talk about, like, because, there's commercials for LegalZoom, and there's all these different things out there that tell you you need to have all this stuff done now, like you need a website right away. Oh, let me put that in here. This isn't a legality, but, I actually didn't list this, but it does kind of fall into that. So you don't need a website right away. You don't need an LLC right away. You don't need a logo right away. These are like all fundamentals and legalities and contracts. This is one thing you will need right away. And contracts, here's the thing, guys. If you're not putting your clients on a contract, it's a major disservice to them. And it's really important. By the way, put a 1 in the comments if you guys can hear me, just so I can keep going. My sound boom mic was not fitting on this phone because it's an iPhone, so whatever. But anyway, so contracts are important. The same reason why a cell phone company puts you on a contract, actually not the same reason, but they put you on a contract, you don't ask any questions, right? Or you go to buy a house and then you have to pay for that house ongoing. You don't ask any questions, right? Your medical bills, you don't pay that in full and you're on a payment plan, they got you on a contract for that. If you default, then you get penalized. You don't ask any questions about that, okay? This is no different, okay? A contract, and here's why it's important for your clients, and it is so imperative that you get your clients on a contract, because here's the example. If you work with a client and their sales cycle is 90 days for a client, so let's, only attorneys and trucking companies, and when I owned a digital marketing agency instead of consulting companies to learn how to do this, right? And when I owned my digital marketing agency, or prior to that when I was at the Yellow Pages, I only worked with trucking companies and attorneys, and I sub-niche down with attorneys like we teach in my programs. And I work with nursing home negligent attorneys or subcategories of personal injury. So these types of clients required an 8-month sales cycle. So if I were to have come in and said, hey, we're only gonna do a 3-month contract, or we're gonna do a month-to-month agreement, it's a major disservice to them because they're not even gonna see returns on the campaign for at least 8 months, which they profit $100,000 because every case they bring in about $250,000. So it's $100,000 net profit per win, right? So it takes 8 months though. So I put him on a 12-month contract because it's what made sense for him. okay? Now, if you're trying to do like shorter sales cycles and working with maybe gyms or contractors or something of that sort, then maybe it might make more sense, but it still is major disservice for the optimization piece, because it's going to take more than 30 days to fully optimize a campaign. I was paying, we're doing some different stuff with ads, but when I was paying out my ads guy, I was paying him $2,500 a month plus rev share, and that's before ads. So I was also spending, $3 to sure that it's recorded. So you don't just get a signature, because a lot of the time this is all done on the internet now. We can sell from anywhere in the world, which the majority, all of my clients do. So with contracts, you want to make sure that you're recording the call. Obviously, you don't record you taking the credit card information, but you take the credit card information over the phone. You stop recording at that point, but then you record at the very end and you use a voice authorization script, and you'll say, did you approve us to charge your account for X amount of dollars today on date of, okay? And you understand that this is a non-refundable process and that you are obligated to X amount of terms for us to deliver Y, okay? You wanna have this voice authorization script, so this way you have it on recording, and then you also have the document. So for whatever reason, they were to, I don't know, something were to go south for whatever reason, then you would go in and you would put the dispute, okay? So that's why it's so important to do contracts, LLCs. That's what you need for disputes. You need a contract that works that way. So let's go into number 2, okay? If you guys are getting value out of this is something that can just about hear you. Can you guys barely hear me, or can you hear me well? Let me move this a little closer. If you guys are getting value out of this, just drop a 300 in the chat, or if you're on Facebook Live, drop a 300. Number 2, okay? We're going to dive into prospecting and different types of prospecting. So, a lot of different ways to prospect. As you see, oh, what's up, guys? What's up? Okay, so this isn't too bad. Yeah, this is, let me bring it back a little bit. All right, prospecting. Let's get into all the different ways to prospect. I had to write these down because there's so many. Everyone struggles with prospecting. I know when I was at the Yellow Pages, it was cold call. So for me, that's, and I did that for a decade. That's how I learned how to acquire business. But now we do it in a lot of different ways. So in terms of prospecting, I'm going to write down all the ones that don't cost you any money. And people that teach agency training frown upon this, and it's because, I'm not going to speak for them. What I'm going to say is, I believe that people don't teach what I'm going to show you here actively because they have money. And I can say that in confidence because now that I do and our business runs on having to have, obviously more expenses, we're able to pay for ads. We're able to pay for LinkedIn automation. We're able to pay for all these bigger services, right? And have people do stuff for us and more ad spend. But when I first started out, I was broke as fuck, okay? I was so broke, I was selling things in my house just to get gas, just for gas money, right? Selling these things on Facebook Marketplace so I could pick my kids up and get food and stuff. Okay, so if you're anything like me and you were that broke, where you had to go to your mom's house to literally fill up bags of food just to bring to your house because you were struggling to get food, if you're that broke, then what I'm going to show you is going to be great for you because I had no money when I started my agency. So we're going to go over a bunch of these. I think there's 7 of them, if I remember correctly, that are free. So free. Okay, cool. So number 1, we'll get into cold emailing. Now, here's what I'll say. Not a fan. I know people have a lot of success here. We're about to run another trial campaign with somebody to see how this works out. But cold emailing, I'm not big on it. It's very available. I know when I first did it, I landed a client by going to my LinkedIn. I exported all of my first-party connections. Changed some things, but anyway, I went to my LinkedIn, I downloaded it, exported that list, downloaded it. It shot all those emails over to an Excel sheet with their names. So I was able to just export all those and I uploaded it to ActiveCampaign and I just shot out an email blast, which now you can't really do. You'd have to use like Mailshake or Woodpecker. They're different email service providers that drip out emails from your Gmail account. So anyway, that's how I did it. I did land one client. But I did a blast, which is very frowned upon because it goes against certain regulations, so I wouldn't do that. I'm not recommending you do that. But if you're going to do that, use Mailshake or Woodpecker. So cold emailing. Obviously, cold calling. This was my bread and butter. I'm really great in communicating with, whomever in order to create a mutually beneficial outcome. So it was really easy for me to jump on the phone, working with whomever niche to accomplish whatever in the time span of whatever without the struggle of whatever. And I was hoping to share my process with somebody over there that would handle that responsibility. Boom, got the appointment, super easy. I'll dive into what you do after you get the appointment because that's a part of the fundamentals. The next thing we'll get into Instagram. If you don't know this, Instagram allows you to be able to go, if you go into the search box and you go to type in whatever your niche is, dentist, chiropractor, roofer, whatever, it will pull up all of those companies nearby you in your local area. So then you can actually go into their account and DM them and say, hey, I own a marketing agency or consulting company of some kind, whatever, here in this city, and I noticed you aren't too far. What I do is, without the struggle of, and I was hoping to see if I could share that process with you. Okay, that's all I put in the Instagram DM. So that was a really easy way. I'll say in honesty that I did not get clients off of this, but a few people in the group got clients off of this, and that's how we came up with the Instagram strategy. So they brought it to my attention. People started having success, so we included it in my program and started teaching it. We had other people teach it, but anyway, it was very good. We'll go to Upwork. As you saw, Upwork's really great. What a lot of people don't know, and Josh Graham actually came in and taught this, but a lot of people don't realize you can actually go to Upwork. What you want to do is build up your profile by getting a bunch of small jobs first, okay? You don't even have to pay for it. And you get a certain amount of proposals you can send out every month for free. So you go into Upwork, you get a bunch of small jobs that really pay almost close to nothing. But what you want to do is build your portfolio. So get them to leave you a bunch of 5 stars, 5 to 10 jobs. You should just use that money and then pay another VA on a company like FreeUp to be able to complete that service. So that's how you would do that. But anyway, after you build up your profile on Upwork, then you start bidding the big jobs, because these little jobs, they're not going to see how much you got paid for the little jobs. Okay, all they're going to see is the 5-star reviews. So after you've built up 5 to 10 of those 5-star reviews, right, and they can see your projects underneath that you've worked on, then you just go in and start bidding the bigger jobs, and you become an appointment, and you take it off of Upwork, and you take the conversation off Upwork, and you have a cell phone call or you have a Zoom call. And then from there, you can collect 100% of the profits. So that's how we do it for Upwork. Again, completely free. We'll go to door knocking. Now, this froze up a little bit. Let me just make sure you guys are still going strong here. Okay, they're trained on how to prospect. They just, basically it was a sink or swim thing. Pretty sad. But anyway, door knocking. You just knock on the way it sounds. You go to a business, open up the door, say, hey, I own a marketing company. I was looking to see if you guys need any marketing services. You're not going to say it exactly like that. That would be very bad. But you'll walk into the business, and that's how you do that. I did this a lot. Yellow Pages, all I knew was door knocking and cold calling. That's all we did. All right, so let's get into the paid stuff. Oh, sorry, last free one. I guess there were only 6, which is still a lot. Facebook groups. I am a major advocate of Facebook groups. Andrew Cruzy is the coach I work with on Facebook groups. That helped me build up my group. But basically with Facebook groups, this is huge because A, it's free. B, it works with the algorithm on Facebook. There's an SEO on people find your group. So let's say you work with real estate agents, right? So your group is just for real estate agents to maybe help them acquire more qualified leads or whatever you decide to call your group name. They come in, you're going to ask them 3 questions on the way in. What I like to figure out is where are they at in their business now, where do they want to be in 90 days, and can I contact them? So where are they at now and in 90 days? Where do they want to be in 90 days? That's question 1. Question 2 is, can my team contact them to help show them how we do X for real estate agents? Gift that we have for just joining the group to help real estate agents do whatever. So the reason I do that is because it puts them into my list, back-end sequences. I'm not going to get into that. But when you ask permission to contact them, you already know where they want to be in 90 days, you know where they're at now, and they already know that you're going to contact them. So it makes it easy to jump on a call, and then we'll get into how that back-end sequence works here in a second because it's part of the fundamentals. So Facebook groups are huge, and it's free. So that is something that you should absolutely. Let's get into ads. So you have LinkedIn. Now, don't get LinkedIn, what I'm right here, confused with just going on LinkedIn and just messaging people, okay? That's not gonna do you any good. If you wanna do something in scale, you wanna do something, you have to do it in volume, and it has to be consistent and duplicatable. You can't do these one-off things where you're messaging people just their own private messages, just not gonna work. Automation. Now this is about right under 300 bucks a month for us. So LinkedIn automation, about right on 300 bucks a month. We book anywhere between 2 and 5 appointments a day. So slight range there, but 2 to 5 appointments a day of people that already know what we're doing, right? We have that conversation with them. 8 Facebook ads, which we were booking calls for roughly 100 bucks, $60 to $100 a phone call. 9 YouTube ads, which we are now getting into, and you have Google ads, which we are going to be getting into in Q4. So these are the 10 prospecting tools that I am familiar with and that I know you can do, and these are the 3 that are the 4 that are paid, okay? And these are all free, okay? Okay, so that's number 2, prospecting. Number 3, we're gonna get into sales. Okay? So sales. There's actually a couple sub-bullets here. Okay? And if you guys are following me, getting value out of this, just put hashtag value at the bottom. Yeah, Jordan's saying you could vouch for LinkedIn because he is crushing you guys in the comments if you guys are getting something out of this here. Okay, so sales, number 1. We're going to get into qualifying. I can't actually spell. So qualifying, selling, there's a couple bullet points here, closing. I'm going to get into the disbeliefs on this here. And then you have referrals, which this is post-sale actually. A few components here, post-sale. Okay, so let's get into this here. All right, so let's discuss these real quick. If you guys are getting value out of this, again, let me know just by putting hashtag value at the bottom here. We're gonna get to these last 2 pieces. Guys, this is what people like. So, okay, so qualifying, the way that we do that, this is exactly how we qualify. Whenever you are doing these free sources right here, okay? You're doing these free sources here, and you qualify, you're going to want to make sure that when you book the appointments and you're using Google Calendar to send them an invite for the appointments, you make sure that your Zoom link for the appointment is inside of the location where you're going to meet, okay? Because you're meeting on the Zoom link, so they already have that. You also want to make sure you set it up to where in the link description at the bottom, because there's at the bottom of a Google Calendar, you can add in a description and you add links. You put a link to your mini webinar, your video sales letter, that is a short 5-10 minute video that shows them exactly what you do, overview level. Okay, hop on the call when you go to sell them, right? Or you go into the selling process, we'll just dive into it in a sec. You want to make sure they already know what you do. Okay, they already need to know what you do when you hop on the call with them, or you're going to be wasting your time. All right, now let's talk about if you're over here, right? Let me use the other marker. So let's say you're using these services, okay? And you're prospecting. When you're using these services, you eliminate your initial point of contact with you connecting with that prospect. So when you're here, the ads are going to be the initial point of contact. They're going to book an appointment. Okay, so when they go to that landing page, after they click on your ad, it's going to show them that video that you sent them through here, the calendar, right? And then after they watch 9 of that 10-minute video or 4 minutes of that 5-minute video, it's going to pop up a button on call with our team so we can do X for you. All right, they click that button and then it sends them to a long form application. Okay, this long form application will ask a series of important questions, right, that qualifies them even further. So they spent 5 to 10 minutes already getting to know you, your brand, and your process. They spent another 5 minutes or so filling out a long form application. and now they're hopping on a call with your team, right? Which when they book that call, you're going to send them, redirect the landing page again with this, that video sales letter, that mini webinar, and then a bunch of testimonials. That's all you're gonna do, all right? And the reason you do that is because now they know what you do, they know who you are, they know your process, they've already committed their time, and they've seen the success you've already had. So when you get into this process now in the selling, which is where we're at now, it's your job not to talk them out of the sale, okay? So here in the selling process, you wanna have certain components that everybody that has our pitch decks and our online programs for consultants, agency owners, SMA owners, coaches, they use the pitch deck to be able to create consistency. And at the end of that pitch deck, when we go into close, we don't go in and we don't handle every single objection they want to throw at us. What we do is we put out the options that are available to them. They were already sold prior to the call, guys. They hopped on the call and they already know what you do. So they're only on that call because they're in an application. So all we're going to do when we go to close is, so what do you want to do from here? Which option would you like to start with today? That's it. We're not overcoming objections. They say, they're going to let you know. They're going to let you know, well, I want to buy something. Well, I want to do this. Do you have this option? And then it's going to come down. Those are buying questions. We're not going to get into the psychology of sales, but those are buying questions. Anytime those things happen, that's when the sale's ready to move forward. And once again, it's up to you to get yourself out of it, not by saying the wrong thing. That's the only way you will lose this sale, right? Using this process is if you talk yourself out of it, okay? There's a saying that you can never listen yourself out of the sale. You can only talk yourself out of it, okay? So when you get really good at that, you won't ever have to worry about losing the sale. The close it should never be a hard close. When you go into close, it should never be you overcoming every objection, okay? If you're having to overcome a mess of objections, the qualifying and the selling process well. That's all that means, okay? Post-sale. This is really important because the best time to make a sale is when you made a sale, all right? So when you get into the post-sale, you want to collect your referral. I'm going to subcategory this. And a lot of people believe that they have to show results to collect a referral, but that's not true, okay? Here's the thing. People buy from people they like. People are friends with people like them. Buyers are buyers are buyers, okay? So when it comes to this post-sale and collecting the referral, you want to ask them now because the emotion is high, okay? And if they trust you and their friends trust them, why would they not trust you to give their friends information to you, right? And my line I always use when I collect a referral is, do you have any friends in business that would benefit from a similar, do you have any friends in business that would benefit from a similar campaign, if I can even talk today? So do you have any friends in business that would benefit from a similar campaign? So actually they're gonna go back to, well, I don't know if this guy is gonna get the job done, so I don't give a referral yet. So in the middle of that thought process, you're gonna wanna interrupt it and you're gonna say, and you can even snap and create an anchor. Well, I'm not gonna get into the NLP of sales, but when you do that, you're gonna interrupt their train of thought and say that one. Okay, they're gonna be like, what do you mean? And that's when you go in and say, I want to talk to the person you're thinking of right now, that one. And you just look down at your paper to write down their information. So that's the post-sale. Let's get into number 4. So number 4, we're gonna get into, this is a really big one, tracking, goal setting. And the reason why I put these together, the reason why I put tracking and goal setting together is because they both require consistency. They both require to reverse engineer KPIs. And a KPI is a key performance indicator. They're the little numbers that allow you to determine bigger outcomes. They're the controllables, okay? It's how you can optimize your business. So we won't get super lost in that. But goal setting is super important too. As I've gotten better at this, we've been able to approach our next big thing easier. So you're not walking into a room having to take a chunk out of the elephant, right? A bite out of the elephant, where that saying is. So with the tracking and the goal setting, make sure that when you do your goal setting, that you know exactly what you want to accomplish throughout the year. Know your 3-year plan, because I learned that from a very, very, very smart, successful entrepreneur. But our goal this year is to triple what we did in year 1. So our goal this year is to do 750,000, and then our goal next year is to triple 750,000. Our goal the following year is to double that number, and our goal the following year is to double that number. And then if we wanted to sell, we'd have the opportunity. Our methodology is confirmed. So in the terms of goal setting, though, reverse engineer those things. So whatever it is you want in a year, break it down by quarter, then break it down by month, then break it down by day. All right, and this is going to help you be able to have those controllable actions. And if every one of those metrics are being monitored and tracked, you're going to be able to know types of action in order to accomplish that year goal, which in then turn will be able to accomplish your 3-year goal or your triple, double, or your 4-year goal, or excuse me, 5 years. So that's why tracking goal setting is so big. So if you guys have questions, you could ask them now, but these are the key components. I don't know why I put 5 because it's actually growth for consulting companies, whether you're a coach or whether you own a social media marketing agency. So remember the fundamentals, things not to get caught up with, LLC, website, logo. I didn't have these when I started, didn't matter, right? Still did $250,000 my first year in business. Contracts are important. Go ahead and replay the video to the beginning if you want to understand how to apply these contracts to eliminate disputes and to be able to make sure you have a binding agreement. Prospecting, these are the 6 different ways to do it for free if you're batched in 2018. And here are the paid advertising that we do or getting ready to do. If you want to learn how to be able to do that and create scalability in your business through volume, you need to make sure that your process is your product is validated and your fulfillment is also validated for scale before you start to do this, because ads don't fix a business, right? They help scale a business. Over here, make sure you understand the sales process, qualifying, selling, closing, and then the post-sale, and then tracking. Make sure you understand what your 5-year plan is, and then be able to break that down into a 1-year, and then a quarterly, and then a monthly, and then a daily. This is going to help you be able to accomplish that both from a personal goal standpoint and a business goal standpoint. You don't have to do what I do. My goal is to triple, double. So year 1, 250, then triple. This year it'd be 750, then triple, then double, and then sell the business or whatever we decide to do from there. So anyway, guys, hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, I'll just leave this on for a second while I take a sip of my tea. If you're watching the replay, looks like we don't have any questions, so we're going to cut the video. So cool. That was quick, 30 minutes. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.